Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Dixie Belle paint fans. How are you today? It is Melissa from the Top Drawer RVA, and I am back from a fun tropical vacation. I am ready to paint, and I've been saving this piece for you. So welcome. Nice to have you back again. If you don't know me, I am Melissa from the Top Drawer RVA. I am a Dixie Belle brand ambassador, and I am live every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Dixie Belle paint page, where we get to sit on the floor, literally in my dining room, and play with some paint. So let's do it, shall we? Look at this big, beautiful beast I have behind me. So gorgeous, so gorgeous. Okay, so let's get started, shall we? I've got this thing up on wheels, but it is very large, so you might see me scooting around a little bit so we can get this done. Now, what have I done so far to this piece? So I actually did a couple coats of slick stick because this French Provincial beauty had a rim of plastic. If you know these pieces, they're not terribly old. This is a Dixie brand, but it also always has a little bit of like a Formica plastic on it somewhere. And for this piece, it was this lip all the way around the top. So I thought, well, two birds, one stone. I'm in my house. I don't run the sand. I just gave the whole thing a couple coats of slick stick, and I actually did that before my vacation about a week ago. Then today I came in and added a little bit of color. Now, it's going to be hard for you to see this color because it's quite light. I want to do some ombre blending, and I'm going to open up all of the things and show you my plan for this piece, but I needed to get a nice paint base on here because I'm going to be using my best dang brush. Dun, dun, dun. My best dang brush for blending is my best friend. I love her. She helps me swirl my paint around and get a gorgeous cloudy finish. Now, when I use that best dang brush, it's quite hard. It's pokey, right? This brush is a little bit, it's strong. It's a strong brush. Now, when I use this, I also use my spray misting bottle filled with water. So I like a nice base of paint on my piece. So this piece has a very light one coat base of pink champagne, which is super, super light, right? Like it's like the lightest of the pinks from Dixie Belle. So what do I want to do to this French Provincial beauty? Well, we're going to zhuzh her up and make her super fabulous. And I thought that I would do a piece that's kind of reminiscent of one of the other ones that I've done before. I don't know if you remember, I did a French Provincial dresser. It was kind of higher up on legs, and I did a draping of transfer with a beautiful kind of purple putty ombre blend behind it, and we're gonna get crazy and kind of do that same sort of thing. So today we're gonna be using Buds and Branches Transfer by Dixie Belle, Bells and Whistles. Have you seen this transfer before? It's a great one. I love it. I just threw a transfer stick at myself. I love this one. I did help create this, and it is a lot of fun. So let's show you what's inside of Bells and Whistles transfer. Obviously the transfer stick that flew out of the tube and got me, along with some beautiful images. 4 pages of images. Now, here's a little bit of background DIY info. When I plan a piece, I like to look at the colors that are in a transfer because in my mind I'm thinking, I'm going to drape this transfer down from each corner, I think, like maybe down from this side and up from this side. So in order to pick colors that are going to match very well with this transfer, it's recommended to choose colors that are in the transfer. So if you're going to look at the transfer nice and close up, what do you see? Well, I see a little bit of mud puddle. I see a little bit of, let's see, lucky lavender, but I decided that was a little bright. I see some plum crazy. I don't want to go that bright either. So I also see some of this morning sunrise, which is from the silk paint line. It's a really pretty purple, and I can see it right there in that bloom. So I'm going to use morning sunrise from the silk all-in-one mineral line, okay, because it's purple. I'm going to use Putty because I can also see some of that beautiful brown tone here in the transfer as well. I'm going to use soft pink, which is that nice whitey kind of light pink that you're going to see right there. And for a wild card, if my color gets too light, I grab some tea rose. So if you're ever having trouble with planning your piece or deciding what colors to use with the transfer, open it up, look at the colors you see. If you need to, you can use the color finder on the Dixie Belle paint page. That color finder will help you exactly pull the correct colors that are in this transfer. So this will go on this piece, just not yet. Let's get started, shall we? As always, I do a lot of talking and not a lot of reading the comments, but I will come back in after I am done and we can answer them then and get all of your questions answered. Now, what should we do today, people? I'm gonna try and aim you down a little bit. Please don't fall. Yikes. Should we use the combination of these colors And yes, I'm blending silk paint in with my chalk mineral paint. That's a-okay if you're not worried about losing the properties of this paint, because this one has a built-in top coat and a built-in primer. The silk paint, you don't need to top coat, you don't need to prime. But I'm not choosing this color for the silk paint. I'm choosing it for the color. So I'm gonna actually just be blending with my chalk mineral paint. You're totally allowed to do that. Let's see. Hello, I see somebody saying, a question about my transfer. You love my transfer, waiting for a piece to put it on? Ooh, show me when you do. Send me a message. I love to see what people create with their Dixie Belle paint products, and especially with the Buds and Branches transfer, because you know, it's near and dear to my heart and I think it's fabulous. So the question is, should I do the ombre finish like dark on the outside and come in light to the center, or do I do each drawer with a light on the outside, dark on the outside, light to the center? Because that's kind of the way that I'm leaning. I'm leaning towards like doing the edges that little bit darker and then making the center where the original hardware, which I have, it's fabulous, I'm going to paint it nice and bright and gold, will shine on the piece. What do we think? I'm opening up a bunch of fresh new cans of paint. Gotta love that. Love that tea rose. Look at that color. So gorgeous. So this little beauty is going to be a combination of pinks, and I'm going to pull in this putty to really kind of neutralize the pink and not make it too overwhelming. Well, as in all cases, let's just play with our paint and see what happens. What do you think? You want to? Let's do it. Should we start here? Should we start here? Like, this is really big. I normally don't start on the front of the piece. You know, I like to start on the side. Let's scooch my behind down. I have a separate paintbrush for each color on the floor, okay? Because I don't want to contaminate my color pattern until I blend it together. Let's start here. I might have to actually come right in front of the camera in order to get at this big giant piece. All right, let's do it. Sorry you have to look at the back of my head, but I know you can still hear me because I have a mic on. So I'm going to take a different brush for each color, and we're going to apply the color in the pattern where I want it to live. Then on the second coat, but maybe not even, because I did put that first coat of that beautiful soft pink on here, I'm gonna blend it together with my best dang brush, and we will go from there. Hi AJ, thanks for watching. All right, I'm not even really gonna dampen my brushes yet. Normally when I use chalk mineral paint, I keep my spray misting bottle filled with water handy to dampen and move the paint around. Let's just get crazy and jump right in. I'm gonna start with Putty, okay, which is my brown color. Don't be afraid of mixing brown and pink, really, don't be. And yes, I'm gonna paint with my drawers in. I always get that question, because if I'm going to lay out a color pattern, I need to keep the drawers closed and where they're gonna live. What I will do, and what you won't see, is after I'm finished, open up these drawers and then complete the edges, okay? So let's just throw some stuff on there and see what happens. So this color Putty looks quite brown here, but it's not gonna stay that way, right? We're gonna lose the true value of these colors because I'm going to be using my best dang brush to ombre blend. So let's see how much Putty. Let's experiment on this one drawer and see what happens. How much Putty I want to use, because it is, you know, a darker color. Okay, so there's my Putty. I'm gonna grab a different brush. Now remember, I'm mixing my CMP with my silk, so chalk mineral paint with a little bit of silk. That's okay. That's okay, people. Don't freak out. Remember, I don't need to keep the properties of the silk paint. If this was a bleeder piece and I was choosing silk paint in order to combat, you know, the possible tannins that might bleed through, then yes, I would use pure silk paint. But because I'm not worried about that, I'm gonna blend these colors together and we're gonna see what kind of mix we can get. So this looks pretty dark right here, right? Looks a little scary. Looks a little scary. Let's put in a little bit of pink in the center. So I've got that pink champagne. You could also use soft pink if you don't have pink champagne. And that's the color that's here on the base. So you're not gonna see it when I lay it down, right? You're not gonna see that lightness. And for my wild card, I have a little bit of tea rose on the floor. I just wanna see what happens when I blend these colors. I have a feeling what's gonna happen is it's going to give me a gorgeous neutral ombre blend with a hint of pink. Okay, so now I have my best dang brush on the floor. Your best dang brush is a synthetic and also natural fiber brush. I like to hold it close to the bristles right here. If you see me when I'm painting with this brush, it's my blending tool. It's a big brush. So by holding it here close to the edge, I'm able to ombre blend these colors together. Now, remember I've got a base coat of that beautiful pink on here. So I can jump right into blending. If I was coming in here on naked wood or wood that has been prepped but not painted on yet, I might need to do 2 coats of these colors. Let's just try and mix one coat and see what happens. I'm going to use this brush when it's damp. This Pristine brush likes to have a damp surface. It also likes to have a rag on the floor. You're going to see me reach down and blot this off because this brush is going to hold a lot of paint, right? Like it just sucks it right in. I'm going to start with circular motions and let's get crazy and see what happens. Are you ready? Are you scared? Does this freak you out? Shouldn't. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm going to always start with my darkest color, which here is the Putty. Let's see what happens when I start mixing these tones together. I think I want to, oh, it's looking pretty dark. I think I want to use more pink, less brown. I think I got a little heavy-handed with the brown on here. Your piece needs to be wet in order to blend. It's not going to work if your paint is dry. Yeah, y'all, this is too dark. I need it to be lighter. But this is why I usually start on the side of a piece and experiment. But today we're going all in, people. Okay, see how, I mean, it's not a terrible cloudy blend, to be honest with you, but it's just a little too brown for me. I'm gonna hold up the transfer and show you what I mean. So remember the colors that I chose for this kind of neutral ombre blend are picked from the Buds and Branches transfer. I don't like that. I need to put more purple or something on here. Let me just fix it before I hold up the transfer. Let's add a little bit more purple on here. Maybe there's too much putty I'm looking at and it's freaking me out. It's freaking me out. And once again, y'all, this is just paint. If you do something and you're playing and you're experimenting and you're like, yikes, it's too much of one thing and not enough of the other, you're the boss of you. You can totally change it up. So, okay, let me look at this and let me hold up a piece of the transfer. Let's look at this color pattern. I see all the colors in the transfer that I'm using. I see the Putty, I see the Morning Sunrise, I see that beautiful, I keep wanting to say soft pink, but it's pink champagne, right? It is, it's pink champagne. Now, I didn't add any of the tea rose, but you gotta remember too, that paint dries a little bit lighter than when it's wet, right? Like it's looking a little dark. I'm really liking though this with this color. What are we thinking about this? Are we liking this? Throw me some hearts, let me know what you think. I see David's watching. David, do you like this color pattern or do you feel like it's maybe a bit heavy for this piece? Should I lighten it up? Should it be a little bit lighter? Throw me your opinions. I know y'all have them. Everybody on the internet has opinions. I hear about them every day, I swear. I see lots of hearts. So you're digging this? You guys are liking this? Now remember, obviously hardware will be gold. Obviously edges will be gilded in gold. We'll see, let's see. Somebody has to comment, tell me an opinion. I'm waiting for you. Okay, so David thinks that it's a little bit heavy. Now I'm agreeing with you, David. I feel like the Putty is just screaming like a little bit brown, right? And see, Angie's saying she doesn't like the, okay, so everybody's saying go a little lighter. So let's do it. Let's go a little lighter. Let's keep you nice and close so you can see how we're gonna change this up. Because y'all, it's just paint. First I'm gonna do is clean off my brush because I'm gonna wipe it on my towel to get this color off, right? Because it's gonna get fairly contaminated with color. And to be honest with you, if you're painting this with these brushes, you might want to keep a couple on hand just to really keep the inside a little bit lighter. All right, so everybody's saying it's a little bit too dark. So remember, we did Putty, and we did that gorgeous Morning Sunrise, and in the middle we did that champagne. Let's do it again, but better. Let's do it again, but better. So let's redo what we just did. I'm gonna go back in with the Putty, because your paint needs to be damp, right? To be activated. And I'm only gonna put it right here in the corners. I'm only dropping it right there in the corners. That means I'm going to add a little bit more of the Morning Sunrise. So less Putty, more Morning Sunrise. And then right there in that middle, remember, separate brush for each color. We're gonna go with that soft pink And let's dump a little bit more in there this time. I feel like I went a little light on the pink. Okay, we've got my best dang brush for blending. I'm gonna hold it close up here to the bristles. This is wet. I just dumped a whole bunch more paint on there, right? A whole bunch. Let's start with the darker edge and mash it around a little bit. You know what I probably should have done too is possibly could have painted the hardware, because I haven't cleaned it or painted it yet. Like I said, I was on vacation last week, so I'm kind of running by the seat of my pants and on coffee fumes because, hello, late night flights, lots of kids. I took my whole entire family on a vacation and it was fabulous and I loved it, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little tired today, a little sleepy, but we're here. That's better, right, you guys? That's better. Let's even bring that light out a little bit more. That's better, isn't it? Can you see? Can you see the value in that? Can you see how it went from real brown to like a nice faded? That's better. I like this. Are we liking this? Did I fix it, David? Did I fix the problem? Now again, first coats, people. This could go a whole nother way. Let's do another drawer and see if we can redo it down here, because that's the tricky part, right? That is tricky part, is recreating that. So we're gonna go back and do what we just did. I'm gonna come in here though and dump that putty just nice and tight around the edges, because even though I did paint with the drawers in, I wanna make sure I'm gonna blast it into the corner and get it all up in the proper spots. I do like putty. I'm kind of being on a putty kick lately. I've used it on quite a few pieces. I don't know why I'm digging it so much, but I am. And here's the thing too, these all don't have to be exactly the same, these drawers, because I'm gonna be putting a big draping bough of flowers coming right down the front and then again from the other corner, right? So let's go back in with the morning sunrise. Again, yes, people, I'm mixing my chalk mineral paint with my silk paint, and that is okay because I'm not doing it for the properties of my silk paint. I don't need to keep that blocking primer, and I don't need to worry about top coating because I actually plan on adding that transfer over top, which means I will be sealing this piece with either wax or clear coat or gator hide. To be determined, haven't decided yet. And we're just choosing that color because I freaking love that color. I love that color. Love it. All right, let's jump in here and add that pink champagne. Remember, I went kind of heavy with the champagne so that I could pull that color around. Let's see if I can do it again. The bets are on. Can she do it? Can she recreate the same look? I don't know, but we'll try. All right, so I'm using my best dang brush. First things first, I'm gonna spray it. Try and get as much of the extra paint off as I can on my napkin down here because it holds all that paint, right? That brush holds the paint. I always like to start darker on the edges because if I started in the middle, then the outside would be lighter, right? If I do it this way, then I'm able to keep that darker value. I like putty, you guys. I don't know why I love this color so much lately, but it is kind of being my new fave. We're gonna blot it off, spray your brush. I mean, I'm not drowning my brush, I'm just spraying my brush. Let's see what kind of magic we can make. Soft swirling motions, soft blending. I think that this is still darker. I like this one better though, so that means I'm gonna come back up here and drop in some more of that pink champagne and just fix it real quick, because I think when I messed around and blended that top drawer so much, I lost some of the brown. Let me look. Not bad, people, not bad. I do see that I think I'm gonna have to add just a bit more putty, just a bit more down here, just to bring some of that brown over. Let's see what happens. I missed y'all last week. Thank you to Teresa from NTS Design Co. helping me out and filling in my space. She is a talent. We love her. She helped me out when I was away and took over. I hope you all enjoyed her little show, because I sure did. I even tuned in when I was on vacation to see how she was doing. Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, we're liking this. Are we digging this? Can you see what's happening here? It's actually, to be honest with you, I thought I would go a lot lighter. And now that I've started, I'm really liking this color. Oh, hey, Teresa, you're watching. Good, I'm glad. Look at that. Look at that color. Now wait, let me show you. Just let me show you. Because I don't want you to look at that color without the reason why I chose that color. Can you see now? Can you see that beautiful mix of paint? How these colors will go together? Of course my viewers were nice, Teresa, because we're nice people. Love and light, baby. Love and light. There is no room for negativity here at my house. And when you guys hang out with me, you're here with me at my house. I love you all. I missed you, like I said. Okay, I'm digging it. I am digging it. Can you now imagine how all of these flowers are going to cascade down from the corner? So I'm going to do cascade down from this corner and come up from the opposite. I really think that this is a smoking good combination. Also, it's a combination I've never done before. The one that I did before was a lot lighter. I think I had a lot more of a salmon gravy to it. This is looking kind of moody. And when this morning sunrise dries, it has such a beautiful lavender hue that I think it's going to be gorgeous. Those colors go together so well with the transfer. They really do. That's my handy dandy tip of the day. If you don't know what colors to choose, pick up something, look at the colors, and paint it. I mean, you can find the colors, inspiration anywhere. When I was on vacation last week, I went to Punta Cana. It was fabulous. If anybody needs to go to Dominican Republic, totally go. I recommend it 110%. I was like finding inspo in like rusty, crusty light fixtures by the beach, or like the stone that was like mixed with the blue tile in the shower. I'm such a dork. I was literally thinking about paint on my vacation. It's just crazy, crazy pants, but it was fun. I loved it. You can find inspo anywhere you're looking. Well, let's continue, shall we? Let's move down one more drawer. So I'm gonna go back in with that putty, and I'm gonna dust those edges with putty, bring it up around this little kind of curved edge, and we'll just keep going. We'll just keep playing with some paint until we get tired. But I really like this. You know what's good about this is that you're getting color, but you're not like overpowering. I'm not throwing like pure pink or purple at you. What's happening here? What is that? I need a ponytail. So I like this because it's muted. She's still classy. She's a little sexy furniture. She's sexy, but she's not screaming color at you, right? Like she's just giving you some like moody vibes, which is perfect. That's what we want to see. So that's putty. From putty, we're gonna go into this morning sunrise. Morning sunrise is the best. I freaking love this color. And mixed with putty, that might be, this might be like a really good new combination because I like it. I also like the unexpectedness of it. And I can do the same thing down here, you guys. I can bring the same pattern down here onto this little loop, and it will still highlight this base because she's got some pretty little legs on her too, right? Let's add some pink champagne right there in the middle. Grab that best dang brush, wipe it off. I usually just do this right on my pants. I don't even usually grab a napkin. I just like legit do it right on my pants. Can you see? Perfect. All right. Again, holding it close to these bristles. These bristles are strong and pokey, right? So gentle hand, small circles. You can do this. I often get questions about blending. People are like, oh, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to blend. I'm like, get yourself a best dang brush, because let me tell you, this is like the magical trick to blending. This is the tool that's gonna make everybody an ombre queen, the ombre blender. Let's see, what will I do with the bottom apron? I think I'm gonna continue that. I think I'll just bring this pink champagne right down, but hey, let's do it together and see what happens. So again, small circles, right? Bringing those colors together. If you feel like you want to change it, you can stop. You can add more color. You can bring it back. There's no rules. There's no rules in painting. We're just going to keep blending and see what happens. So once you get to the center, like I want that part to be kind of like the truest color, right? That soft pink. My hand gets real light when I want that color to stay. You see me pushing a little bit harder, that's when I'm moving the paint. Something's happening. Why are you so light? You need more purple. She needs more purple. It's just getting a little light in here. We're gonna darken it up. Let's put a little bit of that burlap, or not burlap, mud puddle in, and keep blending. My brush is pulling a little bit. I'm gonna spray it. And here's the fun thing too about a cloudy blend is that when you're doing this, it all doesn't have to be exactly the same. It kind of looks like you do it on purpose, if that makes sense, because it's that small circular motion. Another trick is that when you're using that small circular motion, you're creating texture. I'm creating swirls in my paint. I'm not doing this to smooth my paint. I'm doing this to build layers. And by using that circular motion on my brush, what's happening is I am pushing my paint in those motions, and then it's going to give it some texture, which is great because the bottom of this piece, she's almost perfect. She's like an 8.5. She's not a 10. We're gonna make her a 10. Let's see, I'm using Morning Sunrise. Morning Sunrise is a beautiful purple color from the Silk All-in-One Mineral paint line. It's like the most perfect lavender. It's gorgeous. So we have Putty, Morning Sunrise, and then I keep wanting to say the wrong name. I want to keep saying soft pink, and it's pink champagne, people, which was what I was doing yesterday on the beach, pink champagne. But today we're doing pink champagne painting instead, which is okay. I love the beach, I love the vacation, but you know, reality. We all have to go home eventually, right? Eventually. It's okay. We have pictures to prove it. So I'm gonna swirl this bottom piece and let's see what happens. It might get too light, y'all. It might be too light with all this pink champagne down here, but we'll look, we'll see. There's nothing wrong with pushing this paint around and seeing what happens. I could even come in here with gold, with some mousse, and add like these little tiny indents could be completely gold. I like that actually. I like that part. Do we like this? How is it going? Let's see. Somebody says she loves Dominican Republic. Let's stop talking about it. I'm home. I'm home and I'm a tanner. I'm definitely a little fluffier. Definitely ate a lot of amazing food. Holy cow, the food was so good. Not to mention the champagne. We like that too. Okay, perfect. Perfection. We like this. Let's carry on, shall we? Let's move this, which, ooh, I can't, so we're gonna move you instead. We're gonna move the camera over here and continue our process over here. Let's see. Okay, so now you can see my color pattern. You can see my design. You can see how it's like a beautiful, soft blend. The best dang brush is honestly your tool for blending. I don't think that this look is achievable without that stunning brush. So see this middle piece right here? Let's keep that dark. Let's take the putty and just make it all putty to begin with. And then maybe if my brush comes in and gets like up on the edges, it's not gonna be a big deal because we're gonna move all this color around. Maybe I should even hit those little tiny edges with a bit of tea rose. That would be pretty in the middle. Let's just make sure that we've got all of our tiny little crevices covered. Okay, so that is the middle piece. There's my putty. You're seeing that really brown line. Yes, it's too brown right now, but don't worry, I'm not done. We're gonna continue our process, and when I come over, I think I might put a little bit of that Morning Sunrise in the middle. Yes, as I'm talking, I'm telling myself that I'm doing it. I'm making my mind up, but I can't do it because I'm gonna keep blending. All right, so let's keep the putty going. This drawer is a little bit smaller. That's gonna mean a little bit less paint. I just really want to get it in around these edges. If I miss anything, it's very easy to come back though and touch it up with a small brush because it's such a pretty ombre blend. Okay, so there's my putty. I want to put it over here too. There. Is that better? Did I miss? Remember, I'm doing this over base of that really pink champagne that's already on here. You're not really seeing it well because it's so light, but I do have a base on here that's going to help me with my paint blending skills. Let's jump into that Morning Sunrise. and wear it, obviously. Put it all over me. Let's do morning sunrise. Let's come up here and continue our little pattern. It really helps having that base. That base of CMP on here is the thing that's going to help you keep your blend easy. I mean, normally doing this and then letting it dry and then coming back in, it's just kind of a pain. It's easier just to do pick a color and do a base, and I just happen to do the pink champagne on this one. So let's see what happens when I start to blend it over here. I have to, sorry, put my head in front, I can't see. I have to scooch over, making sure I'm covering all those little lines. And let's blend the middle. It looks pretty. I might even want a little bit more. A little more. I need a little more champagne, please. Here you go. There's some champagne. Nice, nice. Let's bring it up and bring it down. And then this is bugging me, so I'm definitely adding purple to the middle because putty by itself is just a little too brown for me. Let's keep going. Second line. How's everybody hanging in? If you have any questions, like I said, I don't usually read comments during my live, but I'm more than happy to read them when I come back in after the live is finished. So if you do have questions as I'm working, you're more than welcome to drop them in, and I will answer them after. Or if you have a question, you're happy to send me a message too. I'm always around to help. Always on my phone. All right, back in here with the morning sunrise. I'm not even really putting that much paint on. It's really blending well together. That is the magic of chalk mineral paint and the best dang brush. If you have that nice base, it's not hard to get those colors to blend well. Right in here with that pink champagne. And let's see what happens. Oh, it's drying really pretty over here. Can you see how that's drying? How much lighter the middle is getting? See, super wet, much more dry. Sorry, noisy drawers. Again, painting with the drawers in so that I'm keeping my color pattern consistent, because this is more of a flowing kind of blend. I don't really want to worry about taking my drawers out. I want to get over the edges. Like I want some of these sides to be a little bit lighter. And if I took the drawers out, that would be probably not achievable. Cute, cute, cute. What are we thinking? Are we loving it? Because I'm liking it. Mama like. Super cute. Okay, one more, and then we're going to fix this bar of brown, because I'm not a fan of the brown up here. And how should I do the top? Should I do this pattern, like pretend that this is like the top? I should probably mimic that on the top, right? I think it's probably a good idea to do that. Can we see the bottom drawer? Dun, dun, dun. Sorry, I'm trying to aim you down a tiny touch. So let's go back in with our putty. Lights are on, it's kind of getting hot in here. When's the last time you picked up 3 random colors like this and just started playing? I feel like it's been a while since I've done a combination like this. I haven't done such a strange combination. Purple, little lavender, little pink, little brown. I mean, they all coexist really well together. It's just a strange combo for me to paint. It's not one that I normally do. Again, coming in with my morning sunrise. And just mashing it on there. We're doing some paint smashing. How do we feel about possibly adding some faded stencils to this as well? Maybe some Victorian Damask, just in like a faded pattern. Ooh, how about we do that with the lilac chameleon wax over top of my transfer? I think that's good. I think that would be good, because you know that's going to give it that's gonna give it a growing up feel. Does that make sense? When you layer your stencils and transfers, when you take the time to like mix things up like that, you get a more elegant looking piece. So I think I just put paint on my face. Make sure that your paint is dry, apply your transfer, and then do your gilding wax over top. Because if it's lilac, you're not gonna see that, stencil unless it's kind of shining in the light. It's gonna be very, kind of like a ghost stencil, more subdued. We'll see. I do love the chameleon waxes too, Tree, so they're so fun. If you guys haven't had a chance to see, you probably all know about gold gilding wax, right? Everybody knows about gold and silver, and even the black gilding wax. I've been using it quite a bit when I use my Terra. But did you know that they have the chameleon wax? And chameleon wax is actually like an iridescent gilding wax. It's oil-based, so I like to use it last on my projects. It usually goes on quite last. And when it cures, you're done. You don't even have to top coat it. But that gilding wax has an iridescent shine, like legit shines, like it glimmers in the light. It's fabulous. I really, really like it. It's really a great way to dress up your work. So let's fix this little guy now. What do? We are gonna take some Morning Sunrise and just dust it over top. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get rid of some of this brown. Let's see what happens. Let's lighten her up. Just a touch, just a baby touch, not a lot, just so that when you're looking at it, it doesn't look so putty. Yes, ma'am, that was better. That works. You guys, it's looking so good so far. I really like it. It's so fun. Let's see, you're coming in late. You can always watch on the replay. This is also saved to my page, the Top Drawer RVA, which if you're not following, I'd love it if you did. You can come up and follow me on my own page, Top Drawer RVA, where I am always doing something wild and crazy. And if you want to see what I'm doing every day, now I'm not live every day. I'm here live on the Dixie Belle Paint page every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Starting a new project, walking you through everything, talking a lot. But if you want to see what I'm up to, you get the best inside kind of reviews on what I'm doing on TikTok. I'm live every day on TikTok doing something, putting up some fun videos, posting amazing videos, usually set to fun music, and you will see what I am doing every day. My most update information is always on TikTok. There's always something on there. I'm posting like 5 or more times a day if I can. But follow me here on the Top Drawer RVA and make sure you're following Dixie Belle Paint page. The colors I used today for this beautiful start of this French Provincial project are Putty, that's the brown that you're seeing, right? Putty, which is a great neutral. Like it doesn't look anything on the piece like it does in the jar, right? From Putty, I moved into that beautiful lavender, which is called Morning Sunrise from the Silk All-in-One Mineral line. Yes, the Silk All-in-One Mineral line has a built-in top coat and a built-in primer, but I'm not utilizing the paint for that purpose today. I'm utilizing the paint for the color. I really wanted that really kind of muted lavender. And then in the middle, we have that soft pink champagne. And the whole base of the project was painted in pink champagne to start with, so that when I come in and start mashing around with that best dang brush, I'm not moving it around too much. It's staying pretty much where I put it. Normally you're blending on the second coat. So this is technically my second coat since the base has that pink champagne on it. I did apply Slick Stick on this piece last week because of the Formica edge to my project. Slick Stick is your gripper for any slick or shiny surfaces. It helps your paint adhere and stick and stay where it should. So my friends, this is my piece. I plan on adding this beautiful transfer and it will match perfectly with those colors. I mean, hello, it's actually looking a little fall. It's looking a little fallish in here. It's almost time for some pumpkin spice latte. Now that my vacation is done, I can eat all this pumpkin spice that I want. Probably no. I should be eating fruit and vegetables for like the next week at least. Give me at least a week. But I hope you enjoyed sitting on the floor and playing with some paint today. If you have any questions, like I said, you're more than welcome to message me. I am a brand ambassador here for Dixie Belle, and I am always available to help you where I can. I'm also a social media coach. I do run a private coaching group all about how to build your brand online. It's social media coaching. There's no painting in that group because I do it over here all the time. But if you're looking at increasing the eyes and the awareness on you and your small brand, it doesn't have to be just painting. We have all kinds in there, but that group is opening up actually September 1st. So if you have questions about that, you can always message me as well, and I can help you reach more people by building your brand online. We do lots of fun stuff in there. All right, you guys, I hope you have a fabulous day. Stay tuned, because once I start something, I don't really stop. I keep plowing through. My plan today is to finish at least the front of this dresser so that I can get it dry and we can play with some transfers tomorrow. Maybe I'll go live tomorrow on the Bells and Whistles page and we will add that beautiful transfer, which is the Buds and Branches transfer by moi, the Top Drawer RVA. I helped plan this one out. It's gorgeous, it's beautiful, it's gonna be all the things. We're gonna add gold, we're gonna add stencils. Stay tuned for the final product. And I will be back here next week at 3 p.m. to play with some paint and work on a new project. All right, take care everybody. You guys have a great week. I'm happy to be back. Bye.